Okay, I just can't with the Sonic franchise. This is insane. So in one of the most unlikely places of all time, we just got a hidden character from the Sonic universe that fans have been speculating about and debating about for years was just teased to us again, and everyone is just wondering why. I'm so confused. You're confused. We're all going to be confused after watching this. So there was a brand new TV spot for Sonic Movie 3 with footage of director Rockwell. Okay, so that's not too crazy, right? Think again. Without further ado, let's check it out.
There is a situation unfolding. They're requesting Team Sonic's assistance.
Team Knuckles.
Dude. Shadow is the most dangerous entity on Earth.
With his power, we can remove
Oh, he cooked
humanity.
Knuckles.
Chest bump?
Chest bump.
No. As long as we stick together, there is nothing we can't handle.
That's right.
Done, there won't be anything left.
Some new shots right here.
Please.
Sonic 3.
Okay.
Until now.
So guys, if you take a look at the scene with Knuckles fighting Shadow, look right here. Who is that in the corner up here? This is the mysterious Tails Tube character from 3 years ago. By the way, it looks like there's like a date right there or something. So I don't know. Listen, we don't have to speculate about what that's going to mean. I'm not going to put my credibility out there and say that this date is going to mean something significant, but it looks like December 30 something potentially. Maybe this will get a reveal, but this is the infamous character from the Tails Tube 3 years ago. So here is a younger version of myself back in the day covering this Tails Tube news back in 2022, I think. About 2.5 years ago. And if you look at the Tails Tube, this was the character right here. So everyone was wondering, like we've seen all these other characters in the past. Everyone was wondering who this was. People were assuming that she was going to be a character that appears in Sonic Frontiers. At the time, we thought the game was called Sonic Ranger, so she kind of looks like she fits that vibe, but we just never got an answer as to what she was. If you look to the left of Young Sonic Hub over here, you will see that people were asking Ian Flynn, who is this woman? Hashtag knowing smile, maybe? And then Ian Flynn said hashtag knowing smile. So this was a very long time ago. And for years, we just never knew who she was. And now here she is, and everyone on Sonic Twitter is freaking out. No one knows who this girl could be, but I think we do have some ideas. The fact that Sonic and Shadow Generations is the recent mainline Sonic game, and also Sonic Movie 3 is like the Shadow movie. It is pretty interesting, the timing of them showing this character in the movie. Now, it could just be like a random Easter egg they threw in there to make Sonic fans go insane. But this character does mean something, so the fact that she's being teased or shown off in the Sonic movie does lend some credibility to the theory that potentially she could have some relation to Maria or Shadow. Now, on the outset, she could just be a random character that potentially appears in the IDW comics, and the reason why is because at the time of her reveal, Ian Flynn, the writer for Sonic Frontiers, was mainly known for his work on the IDW comics. This was before he assumed a larger role within the franchise. So it's still possible that she could just be some one-off random character that really has no greater significance to anything, but I feel like the fan theories are a lot more fun. So let's bring this back to Sonic and Shadow Generations and Shadow in general. In the Sonic and Shadow Generations game, there was a collectible journal that you could unlock for Gerald Robotnik, and it revealed several cool little details about his life, his past, and his family. In the dialogue in the game, Gerald Robotnik would reveal to Shadow that he has 2 sons and says, I guess you haven't met them. He's obviously unaware of his tragic fate that is to come and knowing what Shadow knows of the future. Pretty sad if you think about it. So if you look at the Robotnik family tree, you will see that Eggman and Maria are cousins. So he has 2 sons, and both of them went on to have 2 children, at least, potentially more. And I gotta say, this discussion is pretty crazy because when you think about it, there is so much unexplored Robotnik family lore that has come out recently that I feel like Sega needs to go a little bit further with this and explain it in a future mainline Sonic game, because some of these reveals show that there's some significant family drama going on with the Eggman family. I mean, this guy is totally messed up. Some of the things that he's done and some of the evil that he's brought upon the world can only be a result of significant trauma in his past or something like that. And the last thing on this, we do get a little bit of insight into the Eggman family dynamic by looking at the egg memos. It says, I never really knew my cousin Maria. Eggman says, everyone spoke of her like she was very special. All that love for someone who was gone when I was right there. But I have to wonder, back then, was she anything like Sage now? It's even revealed in the History of Shadow 101 video narrated by Eggman Eggman, talking about Shadow's past and talking about Maria, he says that he takes Maria's death at the hands of Gunn personal. So there is some motivation behind that, and he does have some type of fondness towards her. So yes, the Robotnik family dynamic is absolutely insane and certainly something worth exploring for Sega. Now let's get back into the theory. So as stated before, we know that Gerald has two sons, and if you look in his journal, you will actually see a picture of both of them. One of these two gentlemen pictured right here is Eggman's father. The other is Maria's father. It's pretty crazy to think about, but we don't know which one is which. We can only guess. In the journal, it says, "I take great pride in my research and discoveries. Few men are labeled as genius in their own time. Nothing compares to my pride in my boys. Redacted and redacted." So we don't even know their names. They both graduated with honors and in record time, no less. They'll have their doctorates in no time. It seems my passion for archaeology and robotics are split between them, but I guess that's what makes them chips off the old block. I cannot wait to see what booms they bring to the world. In the next entry says, "I can't believe how much time has passed. It feels like yesterday I was celebrating my boys becoming men, and now I'm a grandfather. Her name is blank, and she is perfect in every way. She brings a smile to everyone's face, and everyone falls in love with her the moment they lay eyes on her. If nothing else, she is my legacy. Everything I do from this day forward, I do for her." But it seems like there was obviously a rift growing within the Eggman family, and this is because Maria had a terminal illness and she was locked away in the Ark while Gerald Robotnik was doing his research, so you could imagine that her father probably wasn't happy about this. And according to Gerald Robotnik's journals, this seemed to be the case. In Gerald's journal, when you listen to the language that he says, you can tell that something is wrong. When referring to quote-unquote Maria's family, aka his own son, this is what he had to say. Gerald says that Maria has total faith in me and that Project Shadow will cure her. And then he says her family, I mean referring to his own sons, back on Earth has no such faith. It's been so long. Some of the researchers actually think she was born here. Her family either wants her better or wants her home. I can do neither. Somehow, their scorn is harsher than the government or the military's increasing pressure for more weapons research. Another entry in the journal says that the larger issue remains. The president, the blank, my family. I've learned that there's a rift growing between my sons. My love for them shouldn't be a divisive issue. I'm running out of time. Another entry in Gerald's journal also sheds a little bit more light on this situation and brings us back to the central point. But first, we need to keep going. It says back on Earth, blank, and if you notice, it crosses out the word my son. He says that they've been blessed with another little girl. He says they've already run tests and she has none of the genetic markers linked to Maria's condition. While this was welcome news, the unspoken commentary was received loud and clear. I must save Maria. I must get my family back. Blank, you are the key to it all. After the Maria incident, there's one final journal entry. It says, based on my original projections, I was able to complete my project. I designed its mind to be perfect, pure. I will leave everything to him. If you wish, release and awaken it to the world. If you wish to fill the world with destruction. Knowing the division that Gerald's research was causing within the family, he added context on the strained relationship with his sons, plus Gerald's research leading to the tragic raid on the Ark, which ultimately ended with Maria dying. You can only imagine what this did to the Robotnik family. Now, with all this added context, it's important to remember this final detail. And that is the fact that Maria had a sister, which was revealed in the journals, but also she reveals it in in-game dialogue. A lot of people have been pointing to this line by Maria in Sonic and Shadow Generations, including myself, that Maria said she misses her family and she misses her baby sister most of all. So it's been revealed that Maria has a sister. So that's actually really significant considering the fact that she could still be alive. In addition to that, you know, Shadow has his connection with Maria, so potentially this future character may have a connection to Shadow. Long story short, what if after all of these years, this hidden character that has been teased throughout the years and clearly has some type of significance and now apparently shows up in the Sonic movies? What if this is Maria's long-lost sister, a long-lost cousin to Dr. Eggman? The potential ramifications of something like that happening would be absolutely massive, and I really wish that they would actually explore something like this. Project Shadow, in my opinion, has always been the most fascinating Sonic lore that they've ever created, so imagine if they throw extra wrinkles into that story and give us further context into Dr. Eggman's personal life. Clearly, his father and his uncle had a rift, and there was a division, and there was some type of schism within the family. They could explore that, and maybe in the next mainline Sonic game, Eggman's long-lost cousin could show up. We can have Shadow involved as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Shadow wanted to meet Maria's sister or he ends up saving her. Imagine the possibilities. They're endless. Now, this is all just a theory, and we can definitely be proven wrong, but man, how cool would this be? Let me know what you guys think about this.